waters isn't sub only, it's verbal tap only. Thank you very much for the plug. We want to say what's up to all of you, giving love to Keith.
Kevin.
Oddly, that wasn't Kevin. But you know, we get paychecks every time people say verbal tap. We want to say also thank you to our director over on the side, one Octavio Villanueva, who is helping us work through the navigation of the deep water streams. So again, you know, thank you guys so much for your patience. This is Raph Esparza over at the Deep Waters Invitational. We are on the beautiful Broadway Pier, a beautiful pier doing jiu-jitsu out at night in the open air. This is phenomenal.
An aircraft carrier, literally, just right across the, I don't know, what is that, the dock? From us, it's just right in the background. It's a
We're
beautiful
Otis
setting.
Redditing right now, guys.
Wow.
Shut up, John. We have Maxine Thylin versus Jen Escobar.
Yeah,
now,
Maxine trains, she's under Letitia as well, right?
Yes, she does.
Yes,
her
and
and Rita are teammates.
And I believe Maxine is maybe from Sweden?
She is. Comes on over this way.
Very good grappler.
Very solid. I believe a black belt as well. Teaches over at Gracie South Bay.
Lock.
Now, here's the nice part. She's ruthless with this Estima lock to set up, but there's something really nice. Recently, Jen Escobar, just a blue belt, but recently won the Kumite over in Texas, I believe. Herself, a very game competitor, has competed with us before, put so much heart, so much great competition out there. We invited her to come do this competition. Also, Jen Escobar, a Marine. And so it's nice that we're able to give a little bit of props to a very, very cool area such as the USS Midway. So we welcome them both to our competition mats.
Yeah, Maxine may be looking to set up a no-gi Ezekiel. Probably, that's really hard to finish from bottom. Usually use more to get your opponent to move and then leave an opening.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might see a hip high sweep. But that's kind of the problem with this body triangle from the close guard. It locks you in as well, so it limits your attacks.
It is a tough place to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's really suffocating to try to fight out of if you're on top, and very annoying. But on the other hand, it stops your own game. So unless you have something very specific that is set up around that, then it can be really tough to get quick sweeps or take advantage of.
I feel, John, it's like you're alluding that jiu-jitsu is hard or something.
It can be difficult. It can be difficult.
Okay.
Because right here, Maxine is up so high, she should be able to hit a hip heist. I think she's just going to fall back and try to work on this guillotine. But yeah, it's so tough
really
because
hard.
usually you'll get the angle off of that when you can explosively go for the hip heist and then fall back for the guillotine.
And as our audience is now coming aware, it looks like Jen is working her way every time she gets a little bit out, so she seems to keep being able to posture just a little bit each time, and that's such an important thing when you're trying to get out of that guard, especially one where they're able to lock it up in almost that more triangle setting, John.
Yeah, I think she's controlling the posture great. So none of this is good for Jen.
No. And this is grueling when you're here, too. You see, she starts to open it up a little bit. You got to wonder where she's going to start trying to do some of those attacks. Is she going to start throwing up her own arm bars? Is she going to start doing triangle setups from here?
Yeah, Maxine really seems to be working on the arms. Oh, no, she's going to underhook. I thought she was trying to do that on the other side, too, but then turned it into kind of like just trying to scoop the elbow. That's exactly what she's doing on this other side. So maybe she's just going back and forth, side to side, see if she sees an opening. But nothing going so far. Here, yeah, she's up so high she could just... Oh, and she does. Even with the body triangle, just hits the hip heist. And this can be really rough, too, because the body triangle's still on and it digs into your lower back. So she opens it up, but still that leg across the lower back.
And that was putting a lot of pressure on Jen. You could see it in her face, and rightfully so, just in the sense of like, man, I wouldn't want somebody to put that much pressure. And then the suddenness of that, like, back pressure, like you're mentioning, where you just, everything closes in.
Yeah, and Maxine also putting a lot of chest pressure down, too. She drops her hips, her stomach, and her chest, which just feels very smooth. I nearly want to say that Maxine's going for, there is like a neck crank from Mount, which
Just
goes
letting you guys
on
know.
real slow.
It does go on real slow, but also all submissions are legal here. So, I mean, it could be a possibility.
Maybe that's what she's going for, and it's terrible if you get stuck in it too long.
It's not just doing that, but it's also it's slowly breaking down your opponent, keeping so much of that pressure heavy. As you see, Jen's face is very red right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with that continuous pressure and closing in.
Yeah, and that arm behind the neck too. There's also two big arteries that run along the spine on the back as well, not just your carotids in the front.
Bruce Kumite saying something that was very true at his tournament, which was Jen will come back from behind to win this one also. Just watch. Recently, she had a major comeback over at those tournaments, and you never can discount a Marine. Be very clear about that. She says that a lot of times when she is there, John, I looked like for a split second you were getting your wish in what you were commentating with, but almost more of an Ezekiel from this angle, that split second.
I think she's going to use it to try to gift wrap, though, and then maybe move to like a hidden arm triangle.
To give her to commit a little bit more to her side so that she could start slipping under.
Yep, and so she is. She's going for this Nogi Ezekiel. It gets Jen to turn to her side, and then she's going to start trying to wrap up this Americana, and then once Jen incorporates both arms to try to bring them back to the center, then probably go for the gift wrap. So I think that's what she's going for. But once she starts to get that Americana, if she moves off towards her left knee, you might see a mounted triangle. She'll maybe try to step that right leg over, get it over the trap. And
I mean, we're talking action-reaction right here, John. So she's probably looking to see what she's going to get.
Yeah, it's actually a really great multi-attack that she's going for. I like it a lot.
Respect that game. Respect it.
Is that are you telling me?
That was my rap song.
Okay.
It's like a hashtag rap. Respect that.
Is that
Did you respect it, John?
Not enough, apparently.
Anyway, as I was saying before, you so rudely interrupted me with your analysis, John, was that Bruce Kumite was saying that Jen had a tough match at his competition. I believe ended up coming back and getting a heel hook at the end. A fantastic match, so go check that out over with the Kumites that Bruce is putting together out there. Again, awesome stuff. So let's see. Bruce could very well be right, because you're starting to see Jen. She's really trying to get that space open, trying to shrimp out.
I don't think she's doing that, actually. I think she's reacting really hard to the attacks that Maxine's putting on.
Interesting.
She has to move to the side to try to get that elbow back. But that means she's in a lot of danger. So, I mean, it's hard to see from this angle, but just based on the attacks that we saw earlier, I would say that she's probably not trying to escape the mount. She's just more concerned with saving her arms.
See, I thought for that split second she was trying to escape and then very quickly had to recalibrate. But you know what? We'll just agree to disagree, John.
All right.
We'll go back in time and look at that again one day. Barry Peterson, excellent show, you guys. Thank you, but thank you to the athletes who are putting it together. They're the ones making it exciting. We're just talking as excited grapplers as we always are.
Take some credit, Raph. Jesus.
Oh, no, I won't take any credit. How dare you? How dare you make me take credit, John?
Man, Maxine is just relentless on this attack setup. She's right from Nogi Ezekiel to that Americana on the bottom arm to... It hasn't gone past that, but I'm assuming the gift wrap.
Again, we're talking about the resiliency of one in Jen Escobar, where she's in this trouble. She's in deep waters, if one is saying the name of their invitational. Anyway, credit the Darce Knight, Eric Medina, for coming up with the name of this, one of the USSGL founders and a Marine in his own right. But this is just awesome to see. Like it's awesome for both competitors. You get a lot coming through this story. You get the resiliency of one Jen Escobar, who says there's so many times when she's doing jiu-jitsu where she says, don't be a bitch. And on the same side, you see Maxine Thylin, who's saying, I'm ready to mix it up. I don't care what point set. I don't care what rule set. I'm just here to do grappling. So for us as fans of jiu-jitsu and grappling, this is kind of what you hope people will do, is mix it up and do things that...
I think she actually has the gift wrap. No.
Nope.
It looked
from close.
From the way that Jen had turned over, that maybe she'd actually locked up the gift wrap.
Absolutely. Now she's just going to continue to
move. Oh, man.
Just for a split second, John. Just gives you a little preview of that nice little gift wrap, and then says, oh, so close each time, John.
Yep. On that bottom side arm, she's got a choice. She can either step over
it's getting close.
Oh, she nearly had the gift wrap there.
it's got to be a great recognition for Jen at the very least to go, okay, I know she's coming here. I know maybe it does seem like that is a pattern, but it's not like she can do anything with it. It's just a tough spot to be in. But
yeah, Jen defending very well. You know, she hasn't been caught by anything, and it's about to go into overtime too. And you got to think that if this does go to overtime, that Maxine might be a little bit more tired, just because she's working relentlessly on this attack sequence. And
do you happen to see any transition here, John? Because I'm looking at this right now, and I'm looking to see how she's setting up what we've been talking about this whole time. It looks like with a low amount of time, how she's going to try and
she's trying to go for that
triangle armbar. Jen very calm, keeping her arm very still, using the other arm to reinforce. This looks like a terrible place to be in, sir.
Yeah, it's horrible. But not a lot of time,
though. She's also
though.
grabbing the inside of her own thigh.
Yeah, that's saving her right now, because if that arm gets extended, it's over. You can see she gives a little smile.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get to the overtime rounds.
All right. Shout out to my black belt instructor, Marcelo De Paoli. He says, good job, guys. Thank you very much. It always means a lot when your black belt comes and watches and supports you. So we got love for you too, sir.
That's awesome.
The referee and the crowd mic is in time, but the commentary isn't. I know there's nothing I can necessarily do with that, but just think about this. You guys are more informed than myself and John, and that's nothing new. They're seeing it in the future. We're in the past, John. It's the movie frequency.
Are we... Well, all right. So it looks like this match started. Are we actually in the delay? Should we be commentating on the live?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to mix it up, and we're going to talk, because we were looking at
thank you for the feedback.
The monitor. Thank you, guys. It's a big help for us, because we can now commentate from what we see live. We're going to take the TV away from us, and we're going to commentate we're going to do it like it was done back in the 18th century, guys. Thank you very much, Javier. We appreciate it. All right, right now, what we can see in front of us is Maxine working to try and keep this top position. Jen slowly working her way out, and we end up getting her out of that. Woo. Okay, now we get to see Jen, who's been under pressure for a while, have the opportunity to respond in kind. What is she? She's going to take Spider right now. Okay, I see how you play in this. All right, Jen Escobar, let's see what happens here. Are you going to prove Bruce Kumite right? As we go from Spider Guard, she has the underhook on the leg. We have the timers ready, and we go.
Yep.
Jen really opting not to get too crazy. It's a nice control. Also, Maxine responding in kind by putting that left leg around, almost starting to kick, but starting to create a little bit of space to push her just a little bit back with that foot.
Yeah, I mean, Jen's really got to separate this padlock that Maxine has, and that can be very strong too, especially if the legs are getting in the way and preventing you from hand fighting properly, or if you let go of the legs if you're Jen, and then Maxine gets up on top and starts stacking you.
Absolutely. And just to explain to a lot of you guys who maybe if you're new to this, just to let you know, this is EDI overtime rules. So we're seeing who has the fastest submission or the fastest escape. We do 3 periods. If nothing happens, we look at who had the fastest escape times. But we're always hoping for that submission. And here you see in a certain way, she's going to get out of it.
Pulls it out
very nicely done.
Waited for the timing, and as soon as she caught Jen snoozing there, she was able to.
I was about to say, what's funny is you start to do a little bit of Gio Martinez styles, and then he tunes in. It's kind of like you just Beetlejuiced him by showing off what he was able to capture on one Eddie Wolverine Cummings with that beautiful setup. So now we go to our second period. Maxine working on the back, and it seems a little bit more successful in her attempts to do this. Jen is trying to move her bottom hip over and get a little bit of space to separate. It's not quite working now, as we have a body triangle there, John, which has to be even more crushing. She was there earlier in the match.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of grapplers that I've seen have a great answer for the body triangle from the back. It's very stifling if you're trying to escape, yeah, I mean, there are technical ways to get out of it.
You tell me this all the time, John.
But I rarely see even high-level grapplers that know them, or can at least use them well.
I just know everything you've taught me has never worked. So there is that.
Well, that is a ringing endorsement. Thank you, Raf.
John is quite a good instructor, but don't let my inability to do anything speak badly on him.
Yep, and Maxine working on
almost,
the
almost.
Oh man, Jen nearly out of there.
Second out of that, just almost out.
Nice reset by Maxine though. It's hard to see what she's got. I think she has control over that bottom arm as an underhook, but it's really tough to tell from here. I think Jen looks like she's hand fighting. She just wants to scoot her hips off onto the ground. Probably escape the seatbelt grip and then get her shoulders to the mat. Just a standard bottom side escape. Yeah, she's pushing on the hips now. If she can get her shoulders to the mat, oh no, but that's preventing her. Maxine has the underhook and she's holding on to the forearm. Really? Even with the forearm grip, I guess she was forced to go to the mount and actually gives that up. Usually if you have the underhook on that side and you're controlling the wrist or the forearm, it's tough for your opponent to escape enough to force you to go to mount, but Jen able to make that happen, so.
All right, we go to our second period right now. Jen working from the back. Gets a body triangle of her own to start with, which is a good place to be. However, Maxine already starting to make inroads on getting out, John.
Yeah, she's out.
She is out.
That was slick. Very quick escape.
All right, here we go. Third period.
So I mean, time-wise, this has got to be going in Maxine's favor.
Definitely
because that escape
bodes
was
well.
Very quick.
If you are Jen in this next period, you definitely have to get that submission. Or, have the world's longest body triangle that goes forever. Which has happened.
You mean a body triangle?
How dare you? I mean, it's very easy to get out of a body triangle. I don't know why people don't do it. This is John Evans.
I never said it was easy.
You 100% in your tone say it's easy, John. You're using your jiu-jitsu tone judginess. I hear it.
I'll try to not use my tone
You can
judginess.
find at BJJ Breakdown, John.
Maxine's moving over to the mountain. That's going to
give it over.
Give the escape.
I think she was trying to maintain that head and arm triangle. And I thought, if you keep the head and arm triangle and you have a submission locked in.
If she has it, if it's a full locked in submission, they'll keep going.
But I think that was the idea, because most people won't necessarily go into a transition like that knowing that you're going to give it up. But if you have it, EBI rules do say that you go till the continuation. So she did get out of it, though.
Yeah, I think she actually never had it the whole time. It was just close, and she was really just trying to control the underhook.
All right. Jen went back over again.
Going for the bicep slicer
again.
This could be
shades
a tough
of
one.
Geo.
And you can tell by her body positioning that this hurts very, very much.
And now putting that leg around, she is being vicious. Doesn't get it. But you know what? Such respect for Jen Escobar pulling that out. That was a great strategy to pull on out in the end.
Oh man, bicep slicers like that too.
Martin is saying, Catherine in the background trying to submit Keith with her lips. Will she get the finish? The children love each other. That's all I'll say. The chick with the bright leggings needs to work on her defense game. Well, if that's the case, me too. So, easy to say.
Yeah, I mean, Maxine is no joke. So.
Maxine Thylin, a black belt game competitor. Such respect to Jen Escobar.
Yeah,
a game competitor.
Went to overtime. And
not only went to overtime, but with the amount of terrible positions she got put in, was composed and stayed very smart throughout it. So.